Welcome to episode 153 of EDH Commander Challenge. I'm your host, BT. Before we get into today's episode, a special thanks to our patrons, our EDHCC club members. It's because of your kind-hearted support that our weekly episodes are possible. Also, a huge thank you to our newest patron, the Big Monster, Dean Dobson. This man's been a supporter of the channel since the early days, before we even had like 200 subs, I think. And we really didn't even know much about things like editing and so forth like you see today. Yet he's been an absolute pillar of support, and we're honored to have him as a patron. This also means one more patron, and you guys, our separate vintage series will film its first and pilot episode. So if you want that to happen, or you just want to get in on being part of our upcoming patron tournaments, or hey, maybe you just want to show some love to the channel, there'll be a link to our Patreon in the description below. Also, don't forget to follow and reach out to us on Twitter as well. But for now, let's get into those opening hands. First, in this corner, with an opening hand of a Swamp, Shelldock Isle, Avatar of Woe, Merciless Executioner, Demonic Tutor, Mind Grind, Glimpse the Unthinkable, and his Dimir-style general Mirko Vosk, Mind Drinker. He is yours truly, the host, BT. Next, in this corner, with an opening hand of two mountains, Rogue's Passage, Cinderglade, Regrowth, Kadama's Reach, Decimate, and her Gruul-style general Atarka World Render. She is the Prodigy. This is Emma. Emma won the dice roll to start us off, so let's begin this card fight. For our first turns, Emma plays a mountain, while I play a tapped Shelldock Isle and hide away a card with it. Emma plays a forest, while I play a swamp and cast Dimir's Signet. Emma plays a Cinderglade and casts Kadama's Reach to grab a mountain into play tapped and a forest to her hand before passing. I play an island and cast my general, Mirko Vosk, and pass. Hey guys, your boy BT breaking in for 2 seconds. Just to let you know what that last play you saw there just now, there should have been another card, which was the Lotus Petal, which would have been the 5th mana I needed through the magic of editing, because we do have calls and stuff like that from time to time. I had an email that I had received, so I stopped playing for a little bit to go and get it after I had dropped the card. And that was actually the email when we recorded. We found out that the Big Monster, Dean Dobson, was going to be our latest patron pledgehammer. And I couldn't find the card after when it came back, so I said, well, let's just continue on playing. Much to my surprise, I find as I'm kind of cleaning up the place, it was sitting on top of my phone next to the deck the entire time. So my apologies for that. Just want to let you guys know so that it doesn't seem kind of weird. It was supposed to actually be pinned in the comments on YouTube, but since it's not cooperating, I just re-upload the video with this little extra spot here to let you know what is going on. For those of you who don't know what a Lotus Petal does, it's a 0 casting cost artifact that you can sacrifice it for 1 mana of any color. And with that, let's get you back to your regularly scheduled card fight. Emma plays a forest and passes. Kinda surprised at this, I play a tapped Temple of Deceit, scrying 1 and keeping the card on top. Then I move into combat and attack Emma with Mirko for 2. With its damage trigger, Emma mills cards until she hits 4 lands from her deck to the graveyard. In my second main phase, I cast Glimpse the Unthinkable, having Emma mill an additional 10 cards from her deck to the graveyard. Then, I pass. Emma plays Rogue's Passage. and casts Regrowth, thanking me for giving her so many different choices. In this case, she chooses Black Blade Reforged to go from her graveyard back to her hand. Then she casts both Lightning Greaves and the aforementioned Black Blade Reforged before passing. For my turn, I move straight into combat and attack Emma with Mirko for 2 damage. With its effect, Emma mills another set of cards from her deck to the graveyard until she hits 4 lands. In my second main phase, I cast Demonic Tutor to add a card from my deck to my hand. Then I pass. Emma plays a mountain and proudly states that it's the beginning of the end, and casts her general, Atarka, World Render. However, the card I tutored for was a counterspell, in this case, Pact of Negation, which puts her general's debut on hold, and also forces her to pass the turn. During my upkeep, I pay the cost for my pact, essentially tapping me out of mana. Then I play a swamp, and proceed to move into combat, attacking Emma once more with Mirko for 2 damage. For the 3rd time this game, Emma is forced to mill cards from her deck to the graveyard until she hits 4 lands, after which I pass. Emma plays a forest and casts Elemental Bond. But she says the card is nice, but must be used as a catalyst to cripple my board, right before casting Decimate. Always good to her word, she cripples my field by popping my general, my signet, and my isle at the cost of her enchantment. Happy now that she's pretty much clinched the game, she passes. For my turn, I cast a tapped and currently worthless Nyx Lotus and pass. Emma plays a mountain and successfully recasts Atarka. She then equips it immediately with the Greaves, giving it haste, and then moves into combat and smacks me with it. Thanks to its own effect, it gains double strike as it's a dragon, and I eat a massive 12 damage before Emma passes the turn. For my turn, I cast Merciless Executioner, and with its ETB, we each sacrifice our creatures, but sadly I have no follow-up to it, and I'm forced to pass. Emma starts her turn by casting Lifecrafter's Bestiary, followed by Garrick's Uprising, looking to beef up her card draw, and passes. I play an island, and pass. Emma scries the top card of her deck via her Bestiary, and chooses to put the card on the bottom of her deck. Then she plays a mountain, and passes, angry that she has tons of mana, but nothing to do with it for now. For my turn, I cast Sleight of Hand, checking my top 2 cards, keeping one, and bottoming the other, before passing. Emma plays a mountain, and recasts Atarka once more. I temporarily stop her by casting Remand, countering and bouncing the general to her hand. This also allows me to draw a card, and Emma passes. I play a swamp and cast Jace's Mindseeker. With its ETB, I mill Emma's top 5 cards. But sadly, she mills no spells I can use. Makes me wish I had Kakusho and Keiga in the deck, because I could have used her Dragon Storm that got sent to the graveyard to get them into play, but anyways, I pass. Emma says GG and casts Atarka once more. She gets to draw a card thanks to her Uprising trigger, and then she attempts to equip her Greaves to her dragon. I respond by tapping my Lotus for 2 blue and casting Reality Shift. This exiles Atarka and allows Emma to manifest the top card of her deck as a 2/2. So instead, Emma decides to cast Gruul War Chant. Then she equips her Greaves to her Manifest token. Then she moves into combat, and because of the chant, she gets to hit me for 3 as I can't block it. After which, she passes. Not knowing how many turns I have left that I can survive, I cast Bolus's Citadel, and decide to use my remaining life as a resource as much as I can, since I'm basically 1 hit away from losing via commander damage. I pay 3 life to cast Fabricate off the top of my deck. With it, I add Ensnaring Bridge from my deck to my hand. Then I tap my Lotus for 3 black to cast it, and pass with a hand of 4 cards. Emma skips scrying this turn, and plays another mountain. She then casts Rada Heir to Keld. She pays a green to use her Bestiary to draw a card. Then she moves her Greaves onto it, and uses it to help cast Warstorm Surge. Then she moves her Greaves back to her Manifest token, and passes. For my turn, I play Volrat's Stronghold. And worried that Emma may have a way of destroying my bridge next turn, I make a risky play to deplete her remaining deck. I tap my Lotus for 3 black, and tap out to cast Mind Grind, where X is 9, forcing Emma to mill cards from her deck until she hits 9 lands. Thank God Crow's Grip's gone, that's good.
I don't think I have any more lands. 1. Yeah, I think you win.
2. There's Genesis.
Yeah.
3.
I think you got it.
4. 5.
No, that's it.
6. 7. Yes! Thankfully, she decked out before she hit 9 lands. Emma is forced to scoop as a result, and while I technically win here, we all know that all I did here against Emma was survive. I'm starting to think Emma's new nickname should be Miss Land Ramp Turbo, because despite having no mana doublers this game, she was comfortably in double digits for mana. Also, her Decimate may be one of the best removal spells I've ever seen in Gruul. Yes, she sacrificed her Elemental Bond she could have used to get more draw power, but in exchange she blew up 3 of my permanents, which included 2 mana sources, and it was very hard to come back from. A mill strategy, even with cards like Traumatize and Bruvac running around, is still a strategy that requires several turns to pull off. And that's why Ensnaring Bridge deserves a place in your 99, as it encourages you to play as many spells as you can to lower your hand size and thus decrease the chances of your opponents being able to attack you at all. Although I will say in a 4-player game, I highly recommend you not drop this too early, or else this card can turn the entire table against you. Agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoy our content, consider becoming a patron. Not only will it help out the channel, but it'll give you access to join our patron-exclusive tournaments, grant you extra entries and giveaways, and so much more. In fact, if we get 1 more patron, we will air a separate series aimed at MTG's oldest format, Vintage, where you'll get to see some of the craziest decks ever and some of the most valuable cards in the game, including the infamous Black Lotus. Please continue to support us on our journey to 2,000 family members, which is almost in reach. Thanks everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, and keep card playing. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you're a fan of EDH gameplay and you like whether it be 1v1 or multiplayer and you want to be part of the ever-growing Command Your Challenge family, just make sure you smash the subscribe button and notification bell down below. We do weekly videos. Don't forget as well to like, comment, share our videos, but most importantly, enjoy them. On behalf of all of our members here, I'm your host, BT. Feel free to check out all of the videos in the channel, join our game, it's now your turn. Cheers!